President Erdogan called the failed coup a gift from God. How much of a boost does this attempt give the president?
The failed coup attempt will have two results for President Erdogan. In the short run, as a gift of God, he is purging dissidents and opposition figures in the bureaucracy. So far, he has arrested more than 6,000 soldiers, but his purge is not limited to the military. Almost 3,000 judges and prosecutors have been released off duty and arrested. There are similar numbers arrested or released from office in the Ministry of Interior, in the Finance Ministry. So this is the short-term effect. The mid-term effect could be that this probably will boost Erdogan's push for an executive presidential system. He will use the opportunity to push for a constitutional change and then consolidate executive, judiciary and legislative powers in the office of the president.
What happens to Erdogan's popularity ratings? Right now, about half the population still seems to be very supportive of him as president. Will that continue to be the case? Will that number change?
Now, Erdogan roughly has half the population's support, as you said, and in general, throughout Turkish political history, when elected politicians are victimized by the military, their support tends to go up. So I would expect that Erdogan today enjoys the sympathies of Turkey's anti-military crowd. But we also have to keep in mind that the opposition support for Erdogan threatened by the coup was not necessarily support for Erdogan's personality or Erdogan as president, but it was more a support for Turkey's parliamentary democracy, because we have to keep in mind that all opposition parties in Turkey have also suffered at the hands of earlier coup d'etats, for example, the one in 1980. So I would like to argue that the big coalition against the coup is not necessarily support for Erdogan, but rather for the elected government of Turkey and the parliamentary democratic regime.
Aykan, Erdogan has promised a new Turkey after this failed coup. How much will overseas markets cooperate in this vision, given that we've already seen investor confidence being pretty fragile on Turkey?
Now, Erdogan has been talking about new Turkey, but I think the failed coup attempt finally gave him kind of a carte blanche to redesign Turkey's bureaucracy, judiciary, police, military, and the political system. Now, the only problem is the more this looks like a majoritarian authoritarian regime, the less the markets will cooperate. There is already a fear of a capital flight from Turkey. There is a fear of brain drain, as Turkey's more secular urban population feel that there is no future for them in Turkey. Turkey's religious minorities are becoming increasingly wary about the reprisals and the vigilante attacks. So I think if Erdogan continues on this authoritarian purges and cleansing campaign, he might further push the economy down.